Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bullony Basketball. Here today with my very good friend, NBA Addict TV, my guy Jay. How's it going, my man?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? I'm feeling good, feeling great, man. The NBA season is back. Let's talk about it.
Yes, sir. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and the season, it's just started. Like we can kind of get the first glimpse of some teams like doing well, not doing too well, and I think that's where we'll start right now. So this first segment, I kind of have it as the team of the week and the team of the week. So team of the week is in just a regular old week, and then team of the week is in these guys are pathetic. So let's start off though with like the actual team of the week and the good side. Who's been the most impressive team since the season started, in your opinion?
To me, it would have to be the Los Angeles Clippers, bro. You thought I was gonna say the Lakers, but I would have to go to the Clippers, led by James Harden and Ibaka Zubac.
Mm-hmm.
Norman Powell and them boys, they're playing fantastic. Shout out to Kai Jones as well. Derek Jones Jr. That team looks complete. It's funny. Norman Powell had said without Paul George and Kawhi out of the lineup, it leaves more opportunity for him. And he said
Mm-hmm.
it's addition by subtraction, and it looks like it. They're 2-1 right now. In the first game of the year, a close loss to the much improved Phoenix Suns, right? They have a win over the Denver Nuggets. Denver, you might come back up in this conversation. And another win over the Golden State Warriors. Golden State looks pretty decent as well. It's crazy how seamlessly they replaced Klay Thompson with Buddy Hield. Wow. But I would have to go with the Los Angeles Clippers. Hey, Rockets, James Harden, he's back, baby.
Yeah, man, he has been cooking, and it's funny because, as I said before the show, I said if you were to pick the team I picked, I would have a secondary team. The Clippers weren't my main team I put on here, but they were my secondary team that I was going to go to because, like you said, Norman Powell's been playing crazy. Zubac is averaging like 20 and 10, like it's crazy. And then of course Harden, you know what I mean? Like they've just been playing really well together. I to also shout out another Clipper, Chris Dunn has played crazy defense. So, but my team of the week, I'm actually going to go with another guy who played a really good defense on that note, played really good defense actually the other day against your New York Knicks. I'm going with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Darius Garland is who I was referring to. Um,
Okay.
and as much as like, yeah, it might seem easy for me to put him on here because I think people know how much I like Donovan Mitchell, but it's really not even just because of that. Because I mean, Donovan Mitchell's played well, like, but he hasn't really had to explode yet, like this season. He's kind of just been doing his thing. But Evan Mobley has really played well. I think Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland. Darius Garland kind of looks like he's out for like revenge maybe this season. I like Dean Wade in the rotation with those guys. Karis LeVert has actually played well in his role. I think Ty Jerome is a good backup point guard that they finally have that they really haven't had in a while. And it just looks like Kenny Atkinson's system is going well. And I know it's like, aside from your Knicks, they've played a bunch of bad teams, but granted, last season, there were a lot of bad teams they were playing down on the wire with, and then they had to like ask Donovan Mitchell to be a hero just to win it. So I think the fact that they're taking care of business against those type of teams, like that's already a good sign, and they're already off to a pretty good start. And then of course, like the game against your Knicks as well, like winning a tough game like that on the road, like that's a good sign for them too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the point that they played a lot of trash teams before they came to New York, and they definitely did beat us. Definitely did beat us, but it was a really good game. And shout out to Kenny Atkinson. You could see the improvement within this team. It looks like even with Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley on the floor, there's still a lot of space. They're playing kind of five out with Jarrett Allen at the perimeter, and it looks like they found a way to have Darius Garland play a lot more off of Donovan Mitchell, and you could just see the chemistry is that much more improved. It's funny with all the names that the Cleveland Cavaliers have on their roster and how seamlessly they fit together by name. You would think that they would be at the top of the conference. They should be I guess favorites to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Hey, even they should be with how their roster is constructed. They should be favorites to be the ones to take down the Boston Celtics. But it seems like they're never really in that conversation. People like to bring up Philly or Milwaukee or even the Knicks, but if Donovan Mitchell can continue, I would say if he plays like he did last year, and everybody else on the Cleveland Cavaliers can just take a step up, just hit that next level and match Donovan Mitchell, this Cleveland Cavaliers team, they could be really deadly.
I think at least like right now from the start of the season, they look like a top 3 most comfortable team to put your eggs in their basket in the East. I think Boston's definitely up there. You guys are definitely up there. And then Cleveland's probably the other team because, I mean, Philly, you got the injury issues. And, I mean, just the other teams up there maybe haven't played quite as well. But, yeah, man, I don't know if you want to get into some of those teams that haven't played so well because one of those teams I didn't want to specifically name probably fits that category. But we'll see what your team of the week is.
Man, it's tough for me with where my fandom resides in this one player, but the team of the week, the weakest, had to be the Denver Nuggets. Jesus Christ, what's going on in Denver, bro? The Mile House City has came down, dog. If Nikola Jokic doesn't put up 40 points, 10 rebounds, and a bunch of assists, they're going to lose. Think about it. Last night they went to the wire. Wait, who they played? Oh, the Raptors, right?
Yep. Raptors.
They went down to the wire against the Toronto Raptors without Emmanuel Quickly. It's just nasty work. It's just nasty work out there. Losing Bruce Brown, losing KCP. I know they gave Aaron Gordon a big extension. In my opinion, that was a mistake. Michael Porter Jr., that jump shot looking a little rocky to start the year. And then Jamal Murray is still struggling from the playoffs to the Olympics to the first week of the NBA season. Jamal Murray, where you at?
Yeah, he is definitely going ghost mode. It hasn't been good.
No Danny Phantom.
And honestly, they should probably be 0-3 because they really got a little bit fortunate near the end of that Raptors game. So I don't know, man. It hasn't really looked too good for them. But you know, I am actually not going to go with the Nuggets for my team of the week. And I think the obvious one is, well, if he's not going to the Nuggets, he's going to go with the Bucks. And the Bucks have not been great either. I'm actually not even going to go with the Bucks on my choice. I'm going with the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, perfect. Love that. Love the great
They
choice.
have been awful. Again, let me repeat that. They've been awful to start the year because they've won their first game against the Detroit Pistons. No business winning that game. They really should not have won that game. And Tyrese Halliburton was horrible. And you think, okay, plays bad against a bad team. He's going to step it up, right? Nope. Because he went into your guys' building, and what did he do? He dropped a fat 0 piece. He was honoring his game with the number he wears, 0. That's exactly what he was doing. So then the next game against the Sixers, no Joel Embiid, no Paul George. There should be no chance that the Sixers win that game in your building. And guess what? They did. You know, like they forced it to overtime, and then they won in your building. And then the other day, their defense is so bad that they allowed a 50-point game from Paolo Banchero, and they choked that game too. Like, it's crazy how bad they are in the clutch right now, and they're lucky they even have one win because I really think they should be 0-4 right now, and there's really not a lot of teams that have yet to win a game. Like, they're awful. Like, I think they're just really bad, and it's kind of unfortunate because there's a lot of players I like on that team. I'm a big fan of Ben Mathurin. Siakam's, like, pretty cool and stuff like that, and it's... I don't know, man. They just don't look good. Maybe they look like they're disoriented. Halliburton has not looked like himself at all this season, so don't know what else to say. They've just been really bad.
Yeah, Halliburton is indeed incredibly mid. Shout out to Evan Turner. He's mid. Let's call a spade a spade. This Indiana Pacers offense, they don't look nearly as fluid as it did last year, this time of year. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, I was calling him a superstar with how he was absolutely dogging some of the best teams in the league. And he just doesn't look the same. He's way too inconsistent. There's stretches where he's just incredibly passive. He doesn't want to go to the rim or take any shots. And it's unfortunate because this Indiana Pacers team is filled with a ton of talent. I love Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith. Yep. I like Ben Mathurin, like you said, Miles Turner, Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, the Obi Toppin, like Jarrett Walker, they're filled with talent, but they just can't put it together. And it's just nasty. I don't know who to blame. Is it Tyrese Halliburton? Is he hanging out with too many snow bunnies? I don't know. Is it Rick Carlisle? I don't know. He can't. I don't know. Where's the chemistry? Who's beefing? Who's beefing in the locker room?
I don't know, but I do think that video might haunt him if he does have a terrible season where he's shouted out 50 Cent
Yep.
with his girlfriend and like those other girls or whatever.
Coming home at 4 a.m. from the club, that's a bad look, Tyrese. Come on, bro.
And he was clearly drunk too. But yeah, it's just they have not looked that good. And it's unfortunate too, because like this is a team that we thought like, okay, so like we thought last season the teams that were already established, like you knew the Knicks were a playoff team already, the Cavs were a playoff team, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Heat, I guess, but like Orlando and Indiana. Well, no, they were a playoff team last year, I'm saying, and they were the year before that. So like they were already established playoff teams, but like Indiana and Orlando were the two teams that really jumped up. And especially the way Indiana started last season, I think people maybe even thought, oh, they're going to be the next team that comes up like that. But so far this season, they've just looked like they don't care. Like they're almost like in that same category as like the Hawks. Honestly, I would say the Hawks look better right now. So
the Hawks look pretty decent. Yeah. Hey, I stand on the fact that I think LaMelo Ball is better than Trae Young, but Trae Young came into the season with a chip on his shoulder. He is literally an offensive engine, bro.
Yeah, he has played well. I mean, and like you said, LaMelo's played well too, but the Pacers have not. And, I mean, just to kind of allude a little bit to it before we move on, the Bucks have not been that good either. Since we're talking about disappointing teams. Like my God. I don't know what's going on. They lost to the Bulls. Like, that should already tell you. If we beat you, it's over.
Yeah. Their guard defense, ability to guard the perimeter, it's non-existent. I'm gonna be honest, it's non-existent. Any guard in the league can go for 30. My boy, they lost to the Brooklyn Nets, or am I wrong? They lost to the Brooklyn Nets, no?
Yep, they just did.
Yep. Cam Thomas dropped 30 some on them. Come on, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know what they're doing, but it's just not a very good look. And it's like, do you even fire your coach? You've already fired like so many coaches in the last few years. It's like,
hey, I don't know who thought the combination of Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham was going to do something to front office. Y'all need to get packed up.
Yeah, that's not doing anything. I mean, I don't know, man. I think the only thing it's doing is keeping the team hungry.
Yep.
For being real. So we can move on here and talk about the over-under games played edition. So I feel like this one's going to be fun. I'm going to give you 5 players, all pretty notable, and I'm going to give you a benchmark. You have to tell me if they're going to be over or under that amount of games played in this season. Most of these guys have already missed a game this season or probably will miss a game. But we'll see how it goes. So are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to start with the first one, the guy who they want to criticize the most for missing games anymore. Kawhi Leonard, over or under 40.5 games this season. So is he going to...
under. That brother's not playing a game this year.
He's not playing any?
His trainer suing the Clippers? Oh, he's not playing. He's not stepping on the court this year.
So you even say under if it was 0.5?
Yeah, oh yeah. We're going way under.
That's crazy. It's a very tough situation because I do feel like he's going to come back in December. I'm sure he's still going to miss games as it goes on past that. But I feel like it would be slightly over. Like it'd be like a 45 to 50. Like I do think he's going to play a lot of games in this season, especially if the Clippers are playing well. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there'd be any reason for him to just sit out and like break that apart, you know?
See, I feel like if that was the case, I feel like he would have started the year already, like playing. But considering how he played in the playoffs, like he obviously wasn't the same, so he had to miss the rest of the playoffs. He couldn't play in the Olympics due to his knee as well. I think there's really something going on, and this might be another redshirt year for Kawhi.
It very well could. I think if he doesn't, like, it sounds kind of dumb because it's like obvious, but it's like if he doesn't play until like the last month of the season, last 2 months, he's not going to probably play at all. You know what I mean? But it's like, I do think if he comes back in December, he will reach that benchmark, which I think that's the expectation right now. That's what they're saying at least. So
I know Steve Ballmer feels some type of way that he got scammed.
Yeah, but he's not gonna play. He's not gonna qualify for anything like All NBA or any
Oh,
of that stuff.
absolutely not.
Obviously,
The only thing he's qualifying for is a hospital ring. That's it.
that's crazy. But I guess like while we're talking about qualifying for those awards, 64.5 is the mark I have for this next guy, which means if he's over, he would qualify. If he's under, he wouldn't. And I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid. Is he over or under?
Oh man, Joel Embiid. See, this is another shaky case. Joel Embiid. How do you play in the Olympics, but you can't start the year? There was no report of having another injury, and this is injury management. I would have to go under, man.
I'm gonna also go under. I do think he will end up playing more games than Kawhi, obviously, because I do think he's gonna come back obviously quicker. But it's a really weird situation with him as well because like he's probably not gonna play a lot of back-to-backs, and even if he doesn't play a back-to-back, now everyone's gonna be skeptical about what he said. I mean, he's like, I'll never play one again in my career. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's weird. I think he'll be under. I think he'll be around like 55 games if I had to guess.
55 sounds about correct. I'll say 50, 55.
Somewhere
And didn't
in there.
wasn't there a report today that the NBA fined the
They
Sixers
did.
100K?
Yep, 100K, which is crazy.
Crazy.
So now this next one, this number 3, it's going to be a little interesting because it hasn't been talked about all too much, especially because his team is doing well regardless, in spite of him being out. Kristaps Porzingis, over or under 60.5 games?
60.5 Porzingis. Oh man, me and Porzingis, we got a history. I would say I want to go above, but due to his injury history, due to his height, I would have to go under, but slight under. I would say like maybe like 58.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I do think he does have a knack for missing a lot of games. I think last season, I mean, I don't know, he did even miss some games last season, and especially the playoffs, but like I feel like he will more than likely miss more games than that. I think he's probably going to be around the Joel Embiid mark, around that 50 or so. I could honestly see him around the Kawhi mark and maybe around like the Kawhi mark I said, where it's like 40 to 45, somewhere in there maybe. I'm going to go with under, though, as well for that.
Yeah, I think the Kawhi mark might be a little accurate because the Boston Celtics look flawless even without him right now. So there's really no rush to bring him back.
So the fourth one I have on here, you've gone 3 unders so far. We'll see if I feel like you might go over on this one, but we'll see. I'm going to go for this next one. Steph Curry, over or under 50.5 games.
I'll go over. I know Steph is getting up there in age. He tweaked his ankle twice. I think last night or maybe the night before. Definitely over.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now he just got hurt, so he's gonna miss a few games, but it's not gonna be anything too severe. My thing is, I feel like the way that they've started the season, the Warriors, I feel like Steve Kerr is a straight liar. And I know how you feel about Steve Kerr, but like I feel like he's straight up lying, saying like, "Oh, this is the deepest team we've had, or we're the deepest team in the league." Stop! You're not the deepest team in the league. But I feel like you're gonna see it now, and I feel like any game that Steph Curry is gonna miss, they're really gonna be in trouble. Even though Buddy Hield's been playing great, even though Andrew Wiggins played great the other day, even though Gary Payton is actually playing, that's a big thing. Him just playing, but like anything, like I don't know. I just don't envision the Warriors having the same success without him. Even more, it's going to be even more dramatic, I feel like, when he's gone in the games this season. And because of that, I could very well see it getting like later in the year. Maybe they're actually lower than they want to be. And for all we know, they just don't bring it back.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when the Warriors start playing tougher teams, they're definitely going to need Steph Curry. There's no way that Andrew Wiggins and Buddy Hield and those guys, they're not going to have the firepower without Stephen Curry to compete.
Yeah, man, I agree. But the last one I am going to give you is, now this guy did play over this mark last season, but he notoriously has been under this mark. Anthony Davis, over or under 70.5 games.
Oh, 70 is high. 70 is really high, but listen here. Anthony Davis is coming different this year. Anthony Davis for the last 5 years has been the best defensive player in basketball. He does not get the respect that he deserves. Why does Rudy Gobert have so many defensive players and Anthony Davis don't? It makes no sense. Anthony Davis, I'm taking it over. I'm taking it over. And you know, a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. Anthony Davis is going to be top 5 in MVP as well.
Wow. I think that's a pretty good bold take. I did some bold takes last week with my guy John, our guy John, Clutch Talk. Yeah, so that's an interesting. It's really tough because I do think he will have enough to qualify for the end of the season awards once again. But I don't think he's going to play as many games as he did last season, which was 77. I feel like it's somewhere between the 67 and 72 range, which is why I put it right at the 70.5 mark, because I feel like that's right in the middle. You know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll say over.
There we go. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I really love what JJ Redick is doing with this Lakers squad, bro. Everything is running through Anthony Davis as it should have been from the beginning. He looks phenomenal out there.
And since we got through those kind of quick, you know what? I'll give you one more, a bonus one, I guess. Because I was gonna put this guy in here, and I was like, maybe I'll cut him because it will only be 5. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. We'll do it. Chris Middleton, over or under 40.5.
40.5. That boy got double ankle surgery. Oh my God. Chris Middleton, 40.5.
Now, before you answer too, they do say that like there is no like huge timetable on it, but they think he will be back in the next like coming weeks. But we know Chris Middleton in recent years, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Oh man, wishful thinking. I'm going under. I'm sorry, Chris Middleton. You have not shown me anything different the last couple of years, and I've really been pulling for you, Chris. I've been really pulling for you, bro. When he's healthy, he's such a good player.
Yeah, it's so tough. I'm probably gonna go under as well, to be honest.
That double ankle surgery, that's scary, bro.
Well, the thing is, like, I feel like he's going to come back, and then he's going to miss a lot of games again. And then he'll probably be back for the playoffs, because I will give him that. The last 2 years, he has been healthy for the playoffs after he first got hurt, and he's actually played well. You know what I mean? Like, he's really always been a solid playoff performer. But regular season, I just don't know if he's going to play a lot. I could see him playing around, like, 30, 31 games.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that he just never recovered since that championship run. Like after that, I'm pretty sure he went to go play in the Olympics as well, unless I'm mistaken. But since then, he just had constant injuries.
Yeah, it's tough because I do think, and like I was saying about like him being a playoff performer, like I do think he's still that. I mean, last season he was cooking in the playoffs. I know it was against the Pacers defense. That's probably, I don't even know, like it's just easier to get through than like a pile of confetti, but like something like that. But it's just I don't know, man. It's just he has not been healthy, and they need him too because they're just playing bad. If he's healthy, playing like Chris Middleton that we know alongside that could help them.
Yeah, and Chris Middleton is a very underrated defender as well. Now, I don't know how good defensively he'll be now after that double ankle surgery and he's starting to get up there in age, but they desperately need him if they want this Giannis Dame duo to work, bro. And it's crazy. One thing as well, the fact that Dame and Giannis didn't practice together all summer, like you wouldn't think maybe we need to get some chemistry going on together, but nah. And this is the result we get. Underwhelming Buck season once more. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is a little shocking. Well, Doc and Ham, that's what it'll do to you. It'll keep you guys away. But we can move on. We could talk about they just dropped the in-season tournament courts, and I'll actually show them on the screen here. So, I mean, obviously we can see the courts here. I guess, do you think this is an improvement or a regression from last year, first of all? And then is there any courts that stick out for better or for worse?
You know what? I think this is an improvement. Last year, they had like that defined color going from one hoop to the other end of the court. I think that I like that they got rid of that. The one court that does stick out to me, I'm not going to lie, it's my New York Knicks. That fiery orange. Hey, the ops don't want to see us on that court, man.
and you got the city below it as well a little bit.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah, I would agree. I do think it's an improvement. For one, like I said, like the last season, there were two things that were wrong with it. One, you mentioned that stripe like down the middle. Two, there are way too many like just dark colors, and like I feel like if you're playing on a court, like it might look cool, like the design wise, but like I don't know if I mean you play 2K or like you played 2K before. Anytime you play someone on my team and they got like their court is like a dark purple or like a and then like a dark green and you know what I mean, like those are the worst courts to play on, bro.
Yep, absolutely hate it.
So like you just like can't even watch it almost, and that's almost how it felt in some of the games. The reason I say it's kind of an improvement this year is that there's a lot more like of a lighter color scheme on a lot of these courts. Like you can maybe argue some of them are a little dark, like maybe the Clippers, the Thunder, the Pelicans. Now the one thing I will kind of hold against this year though is why is there so many of like the same color court? I know there's a lot of teams that have similar colors, but like I'm seeing a lot of blue, I'm seeing a lot of gray, you know?
Yep, you're right.
So like that's the only other thing. Like even a team like Portland, like there's not really a whole lot of red, but there's a ton of gray. Why is that court gray? I'm looking at maybe the Sixers, same thing. It's like they're also red. The Bucks, they're also green. Why are they not green? There's 2 green courts and how many blue? There's like 8 or 9, so
No, you're right. They definitely don't look as distinct as they did last year. But I have a question. Do they have the jerseys to go with the courts as well?
I don't know if they've released that yet.
Okay.
Or it might just be like their city uniforms.
Okay, gotcha. Because I remember Indiana's court with those jerseys, like the cartoonish jerseys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. But I do like my Bulls court. Like you said, the Knicks court is cool. I think the Suns court looks pretty cool. I do think the Lakers court looks cool. I actually think that was one of the better ones last season as well, though. But I mean, I like that they kind of kept it simple. I'm trying to see if there's any others. Actually, one of the other ones that I do really like is the Wizards.
Wizards one look fire as
Because
well.
like you see, like it has like the hand in there. That's like kind of like a homage to like their old logo too, like in the back. So I kind of like that as well. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if you have any other thoughts about this, but
Nah, shout out to the NBA Cup, man. I need my Knicks to win this one.
facts. Unless the Bulls wanna, turn some tides this year, but that won't happen. We all know that. Anyways, we can move on to what I'm calling the honor of the week. So I'm gonna just give you like 1 minute. You can talk about this player. It's usually a player that has like a birthday within this week. I think his birthday was a few days ago. But the player is, I'm pretty sure you know who it is. He played in like the 2010s and stuff like that. He was never like an all-star or anything, but he was serviceable. He's a quality point guard. So you got 1 minute to tell me what you loved or didn't love about Jarrett Jack.
Jarrett Jack. Yo, shout out to Jarrett Jack. Decent player. Not gonna lie, I'm not too familiar with your game, Jarrett Jack. I know you got the Baldy. You helped Team Ignite. I know that for sure. Jarrett Jack, you're a decent guy. You're a decent guy.
Yeah, man. It's such a weird one because he's very obscure, Like I feel like everyone knows Jarrett Jack, but they would just think like, oh, it's Jarrett Jack. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he had some quality years. I think especially with the Hornets, and with Portland especially. Like those were the main 2 teams that I kind of think of him with. I think near the end he was solid on Brooklyn. He actually had a year, I think, like with Cleveland. It was like it was with Kyrie, but it was like before LeBron and them got there that he was, not bad. So he's always been like a decent point guard. I feel like when I'm thinking about like the time I started like watching the NBA, like as much as I, do now and stuff like that, like he was like one of the main guards that was like, oh, he's like an ideal backup point guard to have,
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I just thought it'd be funny to throw in Jared Jack because, why the heck not? And
Shout out Double J.
surprisingly enough, there's really not like a whole lot. I mean, like there were a few other, I think, birthdays throughout this week, but like there weren't any that were like too stand out. Like most of them were either current players, which I'm trying to avoid for this theme, or they were former players that played in like the 50s or 60s or something like that. So that's how we got Jarrett Jack. But if you want, we can move on to the mini game to close out the show. Now, as you said, you didn't watch the last episode, so I wanted to keep it a surprise to you as well for now. So as you know, prior to the season, my favorite player ever, D Rose, unfortunately retired. So this mini game, it honors him. Now, it honors him because all these questions in some way, shape, or form are kind of based on him. So not everything maybe is directly with him, but something dealing with him. And there's going to be 5 questions. Every question, maximum amount of points you can get is 10. So the first and final question, number 1 and number 5, it's either all or nothing. You have one guess. You're either going to get the full 10 points or you're going to get 0 points. Questions 2, 3, and 4, you can get partial credit. So depending on how close you are. And I'll kind of explain it as we get to that one, like how the partial credit works. But yeah, it's pretty simple. There's just 5 questions. So are you ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. So the first, all or nothing question is usually an easier one. And then the last all or nothing question is going to be harder. So the first one I'll ask you is all or nothing for 10 points. What NBA team did Derrick Rose play 2 stints with?
What NBA team did Derrick Rose play 2 stints with?
So he played with them, left, and then came back.
Wait, I could multiple guesses or just one?
You only get one guess. So he was.
Oh, this is tough.
Well, so he.
Wait. Is it the Knicks?
It is the Knicks.
Oh yeah, okay. I was about to. Yo.
Yeah, it was way easier. You were like overthinking it, I think. But yeah, because he was there after he got traded from the Bulls and then left, came back after the Pistons. So
shout out to D Rose, man. We appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. So that's an easy 10 points you got right there. Now these questions are a little bit tricky, but we'll see how well you do here. So number 2, how many? Now this is including. Hold on, I forgot to actually change the question wording. Okay, so number 2, combined between the regular season and the postseason, how many minutes in the regular season and postseason combined did Derrick Rose log in his career? Now,
that's tough.
No. Before you guess exactly, for every 1,000 minutes you're within, you will get that many points less. So let's say you're within 1,000 points, you will get 9 points. If you're within 2,000 minutes, you'll get 8 points. If you're within 3,000 minutes, you'll get 7 points. If you're more than 10,000 minutes away from the correct answer, you're not going to get any points.
Okay. Regular season and the playoffs. I would have to say, wow, that's a tough question. I would have to say, and do you tell me if I'm wrong or not, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
You get one guess.
Let's go 49,000.
You're going 49,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So, unfortunately, that was not it. You did not get any points for that one. It was 24,016 minutes.
Oh my God, I was way over.
49,000 is pretty crazy.
Jesus.
That's probably
KD minutes, huh?
Probably, actually. Something like that, I'm sure. But yeah, Dang. So you didn't get any there. You still have 10 points. Now, number 3, I think you will get some points on this one. Whether you get the full 10 or not, we will see. So every year you are off, that'll be just 1 point less that you can get. So number 3, what year was PJ Rose born?
PJ Rose.
Looking for the year too. So not how old he is, just
okay. Trying to think back. I want to go 2013.
So you going 2013?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was not 2013. but it was 2012. So that means
Oh my God! What just that?
so that still means you get 9 points there, which is not
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Because you're only 1 year off. So that's still pretty good. So you're hanging at 19 points right now. Now number 4. This one's a little bit tricky as well. Including the regular season and the playoffs once again. How many times did Derrick Rose foul out in his career?
Foul out in his career. I'm gonna say 4.
You going 4?
Wait, regular season and no. Let's go. Let's go 6.
Going 6?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a good decision to change it because it was 7.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
He might be cooking. So you got 9 points there as well. So yeah, I was thinking maybe like it gets a little higher or something like that. But yeah, really wasn't that many. And honestly, I think like 3 of them came as his rookie year. So he only had about like 4 or so after that. So that was tough. Now the last one. So you have 28 points right now of 40 possible. Doing pretty good. The last one is going to be a really hard one, though. It's either all or nothing.
Let's do it.
During his MVP season, Derrick Rose only scored in single digits 1 time all season. Which team was that against? So, obviously, you know it's not the Bulls, but you have 29 teams. You got to pick one.
That's tough. That's tough. Okay, so we're gonna go with. I would have to say this is gonna be a complete guess. I have no clue. I'm gonna say it's gonna be in the Western Conference. Because traveling from the East to the West gotta be kind of difficult. Gonna throw off your equilibrium. So that would have to be. Let me go with the Lakers.
Going with the Lakers?
Yeah.
That is pretty good logic there, but it is not the Lakers.
Oh, well, you got me high. I'm about to say,
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was the Raptors.
Oh, see, I should have out of country, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
It's too cold in the north. No, he had. I think he had like 6 points in that game, but I'm pretty sure every other game that year he had at least like 14 points or something like that. So, I don't know why that was just the one game. I think like when I looked back at the game though too, like that was it was a game they were blowing them out and he just wasn't shooting well at the start, so he didn't really play at all in the fourth quarter. So it was like one of those type of games. So probably could have got 10 if he really cared, but I don't think he really cared. So either way, you still got 10 points for the first one. You got 9 for the third one and 9 for the fourth, which brings your total to 28 points. That's not bad. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I think perhaps I could have given a better guess on the last one, but hey, I'll take 28. Can't be mad.
Yeah, so 28 points is so far the highest of the season. Considering it's only been you and John to go so far, so it's just cooking. God. So for the time being, you do hold the top spot on there. So good stuff.
Let's go, baby. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up the show. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Appreciate you being here once again. You got anything you want to say to the people before we wrap it up?
Man, this was a lot of fun. Shout out to my boy Super Mario Hoops for having me on for another episode of Bullony Basketball. And I'm looking forward to this NBA season, man. Let's go Knicks, baby.
Yes, sir. You know, what are the Knicks going to be doing this season, you think?
We're easily going to win 60 games. We're going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're going to beat the Celtics in Game 7. And then we're going to go on to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in 4 games.
I thought you were just going to do this. That would have been funny. But yeah, we'll have to see. I think it's going to be a good season. Appreciate you being on once again. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. And we're out. Peace.